All right, let's do this. We're outside the...
Say it. Inside joke incoming.
So, for people that don't know...
No, don't explain it to them. We're outside the basketball facility.
We're outside the basketball facility here for Kentucky's road matchup and a matchup of losing streaks. Something's got to give here. Auburn riding in here on a 5-game losing streak, Kentucky on a 2-game losing streak. Something's got to give. Hopefully it leads to a Kentucky victory. Jack Pilgrim here with Zack Geoghegan here with Neville Arena right there, formerly known as Auburn Arena, currently known as the Jungle.
Football stadium right there, baseball stadium right next to it as well.
Vibes of campus.
The weather's perfect too. Picture perfect night out here, but
stunning.
Yes, it's a beautiful SEC campus. It's one of those, I like UK's campus, but when you walk around ones like these where everything's just right next to you, like, ooh, it's nice. It feels good. But yes, the vibes are high. There was a line of like 1,000 people out there waiting to get in when we were trying to park. So I think it's going to be a good environment tonight. I've never been here, so I'm excited actually.
It's their live night where it's like cancer research and the T-shirt night. But this is typically the last time Kentucky was in town. This is the same time that they did it. So the Jungle will be rocking as it always is. This is one of the best home environments. I remember 2 years ago when we were here, the John Calipari, you guys thought you were gonna see something night. It was an amazing night, amazing atmosphere that Kentucky performed at an unbelievably high level. Kentucky has performed at that type of level this season. Arkansas, LSU, Tennessee. Can they do it again here in a hostile road environment?
It's going to be a tough one because like you said, both teams are desperate. 5-game losing streak for Auburn against a bunch of really good teams for the most part, and then the one bad team was Josh Hubbard scoring 46 points. So, yes, they are definitely trying desperately to get back in the win column. Bubble team right now. The mock media committee selection thing from yesterday or Thursday. When was that? I think that was Thursday. They had them as a 10 seed though, like right on that bubble line. So massive game for them. But Kentucky needs it too. Like you need to. This is another game to try and keep yourself on that 6-seed line, try and bump yourself up maybe up to a 5 or a 4 if you can continue to stack up some wins to end the season and just get the good vibes back rolling. Mark Pope has never lost 3 games in a row, Kentucky. I think that's goes into this as well. So there's kind of a lot on the line here for both teams. But I do expect a very fun and exciting, maybe probably high-scoring matchup as well tonight.
Keyshawn Hall is the name brand draw.
Paul Pierce.
Better known as Paul Pierce, as Mark Pope would say. 21 points per game for the Tigers. Very, very talented player. Leading scorer from UCF, making his way over to the SEC. Tahad Pettiford, another name brand talent. He was there last year. He actually was one of the leading scorers in the Kentucky
We're very familiar with
belt to ass game, as we well remember, unfortunately. So those are the 2 main draws. Keyshawn Murphy coming over from Mississippi State. He's a really, really talented big that is definitely going to, make life difficult for the Kentucky front court. Who, in terms of the personnel, what stands out to you for the Tigers?
Yes, Keyshawn Hall and Tahad Pettiford, they take like almost 50% of the team's shots in SEC play. Like it's those 2 guys are going to try and do a lot of isolation stuff, like getting to pick and rolls and just kind of be their 2 main scorers. Like they're the 2 guys they lean heavily on, and they're really good at it. So I think Keyshawn Hall's at 41% or something like that on threes in SEC play as well. So he's a really tough guard at like a 6'7" left-handed kind of wing ball handler guy who basically only shoots threes or free throws, and he's really good at both of those things. So keeping him from doing that will be challenge number 1. There are some like weird kind of like personnel storylines, like Filip Jovic, a former Andrea Jelovic teammate back at KK Mega Basket Super Bet. They change their name literally every year from a different sponsor, but I think they're Super Bet right now. So that's a cool one. Caden Magwood is not in the rotation right now, but he was like a Louisville native who Kentucky kind of recruited a little bit, not really. Elijah Freeman is one of their bench players. He was on the big board, a KS board, when we were doing the whole transfer thing. I don't know how seriously Kentucky actually looked at him in the portal. Another phone call. But, yeah, so there are a bunch of familiar faces. Like I said, with Todd Pettiford, Kentucky's familiar with him as well. We watched that kid in high school play a lot. He's really good. So, some familiar faces, but they really only go 7 deep. Like, their 8th man plays 5 minutes a game in SEC play. So it's really just a 7-man rotation. Their top 2 guys do all the scoring, and they are really good at it.
They are a lot better than their record suggests. There's a lot of talent. They're not deep, as you said, but of their 5 recent losses, you had the Mississippi State Josh Hubbard show, but the 4 up to that point. 4 up to that point were really, really high-quality losses, which, I know that doesn't really mean anything, but they
beat Florida on the road, beat
Arkansas at home. So this is a team that is dangerous, and Kentucky is in no position to overlook anybody at this stage. We've seen them, days ago we saw them crumble against an okay Georgia team. So this is one that Kentucky you have to get to salvage the current, like, okay, yeah, they're comfortably in a 6 seed, but if you lose this one, then it starts going, well, who's to suggest that they're going to go down to Columbia on Tuesday and win that one? Why are they, you don't want to get to that what if territory. Win this one, get out of the 2-game losing streak, get back to the grander growth that we saw toward the back end of the SEC schedule, and then with 4 games remaining in SEC play before the postseason, just get yourself playing your best basketball this season.
Yeah, and I mean, Kentucky's going to have some advantages, especially from the 3-point line. Like, Kentucky is, they don't shoot a bunch of threes. I think they're like middle of the pack in the SEC in terms of shot attempts from deep. But they're first in the league right now in making them. They're over 37%, and Auburn is god-awful at defending the 3-point line. 40% they're letting SEC teams shoot so far. So that's where Kentucky really needs to get that pendulum to swing in their direction, because Auburn's still they're going to take a bunch of threes as well. So Kentucky needs to win that battle for sure. You'd like to see Colin Chandler get hot again. Like, I mean, that Georgia game, man, like, he started out, I'm going to say it, he started out 6 or 7, right? Yeah, 6 or 7. So he's been just red hot. He's shooting over 50% the last however many games. So you'd like to see him trying to get himself going. It doesn't matter where he is or kind of who's in his face right now. I think Kentucky's maybe going to lean into him a little bit more, try and get him some looks, let Ortega rock out and be his usual rim running, or, trying to get to the rim, attack the paint type self, and then just see if you can get some contributions from the front court this time around, because he really didn't get that against Georgia. This is another physical, another good offensive rebounding team. You're just running into those every single game right now, it seems like Kentucky is. So they've dealt with a lot of those teams. They've had some success against some and not so successful against others. So there is the 3-point line will definitely be a big storyline going into this one.
Stephen Pearl name-dropped Trent Noah on his scouting report when he was listing all of the 3-point threats through Trent Noah. And so is there any chance that Trent Noah is one of those extra contributors you were talking about?
Well, I'd love for Trent Noah to come in and knock down a couple threes. That would be great news for Kentucky. He just has to go out there and actually shoot them. So
what's the number of threes if you were to say, I'm guaranteeing Trent to take nothing ridiculous, but if you can say Trent is guaranteed to hit 2 threes, do you say Kentucky is guaranteed to win?
I wouldn't.
What's the
say
number?
Guarantee.
What's the number?
I'll give him an 80% chance to win if Trent Noah knocks down 2 threes.
2? Okay.
Yeah. So, but that probably means he played close to 10 minutes, got his head in there and got some rebounds. He's good at that. We know that. And then just kids just got to shoot threes. So I'd love to see him do that tonight in a road environment. He shushed the Arkansas crowd? I think he shushed.
Yes, that was the Arkansas.
So we've seen
shush.
Trent does have he's got some
stones.
Yes, I was looking for a more appropriate word.
Guts.
So thank you for that. Yes, guts.
Okay.
He's got some guts when he plays on the road. So we'll see.
Just in general, Stephen Pearl, welcome to the SEC. This is our first time seeing him in action as the head coach, leading after 11 years with Bruce Pearl. Quite the nepotism switch.
Yes, to say the least. My goodness.
Pretty ball. Speaking of stones, for the leader of the Auburn program to a day before preseason practice begins say, actually, I'm done. Stephen, it's your time to shine. So
crazy.
Early impressions of the Stephen Pearl era.
Well, so they're 14-12, but like you said, kind of a deceptive record a little bit because of the quality of teams they've played. I think all of their non-conference losses, we talked about this in Zoom action yesterday with Brandon Ramsey. Their 4 non-conference losses were all against teams in the top 8 of KenPom. So, they didn't necessarily have a bunch of, massive, huge wins or anything like that, great teams that they were playing, but all of their losses have been against quality teams for the most part. So, the record can, it's a little bit deceptive, like we were saying, but they're a top 10 offense, 109 in defense. So,
fun. Yes.
So, that's why I say you might see a high-scoring game tonight. That's kind of what I would actually kind of anticipate. I think I had it in the 80s, both teams playing in the 80s, something like that, high 80s. So it should be fun. It should be a fun game from that point. You're a first-year coach, you at least have an exciting brand of basketball. Your team might not be fun on defense, but you're getting your crowd going, you're getting the fans into it a little bit. So I would say he's probably done about as well as you could expect from a guy in his position. To not kind of throw any more shade at him. But yeah, so he's done a good enough job so far. We'll see how tonight goes.
Let's start wrapping this thing up. Head inside, see the crowd and just the lay of the land, see how things are going. But a size advantage for Kentucky, that's something that I'm keeping a very close eye on. Malachi Moreno it's a chance for him to kind of reestablish. We struggled against Somto and against Georgia. I think
luckily there's no Somto tonight.
A chance to reestablish himself in the front court against a solid but not deep or overly big front court.
Yeah, hopefully we see more against what we saw against Florida, where he was getting the 11 and 11 and whatever it was. Like, he had foul trouble the whole second half and was still grabbing rebounds. So you want to see more of that type of aggression. I think you could see maybe some more Mo Diabate. I feel like he's not necessarily scoring, but he's getting a little bit more comfortable, especially coming off the bench in that role, replacing Yelovich. Yelovich, another key guy that you'd like to see kind of get break through. Like, his shooting numbers are fine, but doesn't feel like he's making a huge impact on the floor when he's actually out there. So the front court's going to have a lot of opportunities in this game, because I think Keyshawn Hall's effectively their four-man, and he's 6'7". So there will be opportunities for Kentucky to have at least win the Battle of the Glass, and that's another thing. That you win the Battle of the Glass, you win the three-point battle in this one, your odds are definitely good of winning. And it would be nice to not have the 13 and 13 assists to turnover ratio that they did against Georgia or whatever it was.
Ramadan Mo?
Ramadan Mo. Yeah, we'll see. This is his first game
one.
Dealing with Ramadan, so he's fasting during the day. We'll see how that goes. He's obviously done it for a long time now, did it 2 years at Alabama, so I'm sure that won't be too much of a factor for him. He'll come out there and probably be the exact same high-energy Mo we're used to.
All right, let's get this thing rolling. Let's get the Parlor Pizza pregame predictions. Parlor, how about a remote? Sources say remote. That was a big time. Let's make sure we're still live.
Yeah. Every time I get a text, I'm like, oh gosh, are we offline? This is going good.
Parlor Pizza was a good remote.
Oh my gosh,
delicious.
Yes.
Thank you to their house.
What was the name of that pizza again?
It was the Doctor.
The Doctor.
It had just a little bit of everything. It just delicious. The beer went down so nicely. I could use one of those right now, just kind of calm the nerves a little bit.
It's been a long day already.
Shout out to our friends. It has been a really freaking long day.
Yeah, long drive. Shout out to Steven for driving the whole way down here while we were working in the car.
So shout out Parlor Pizza. We appreciate you guys and hosting us for our remote. But we got business to do. We need a Parlor Pizza pregame prediction. Who are you rolling with?
Pregame prediction, I think my score on KSR was 86-82 Kentucky. I always forget what my in the 80s range. But I do pick a Kentucky win. My MVP, I'm going to go with Ortega. I just see another 20-point game coming for him. You're probably going to need it just to try and keep up with the scoring. Like, someone's probably going to have to get 20 points for Kentucky in this one to really keep up with Auburn's offense. So I'll go for Ortega, get a nice 20-piece, get him 5-6 rebounds.
What was the score you said?
I think 86-82.
Hey, you nailed it.
Yes,
so
I remembered my memory.
I had 84-80.
Ooh,
Kentucky. I think so too. I think it's going to be tight. I think both teams are, level in terms of talent. I think Kentucky's a little bit deeper. The higher upside with Keyshawn Hall and Tahad Pettiford.
Don't talk about depth around here.
But I like where things stand with Kentucky. I think they're going to bounce back. As you said, Mark Pope has not lost 3 games in a row ever at Kentucky. So I think this is his chance to, just kind of reset things, right the ship a little bit. And I think they're going to take care of business. I'm going with Malachi Moreno
as
my game MVP, man. I just think there's a size advantage. I think there's an opportunity, a bounce back after doing such nice things against Tennessee, against Arkansas. He really had just kind of solidified himself. Took a little bit of a step back against Somto in that Georgia front court, so I think he's going to bounce back and be our game MVP as Kentucky rolls to a 4-point victory. Shout out Parlor Pizza. Shout out to all of our viewers. Appreciate each and every one of you, and we're going to go inside.
Comment, subscribe, all the things for Steven.
Neville Arena, hopefully, and we're going to be walking out of there with a big-time victory. Last time we did it, things went well, so hopefully it's going to be...
we'll see you back here in 3 hours, hopefully with something... Well, maybe we'll be on the court. We can be on the court for this one, actually, for our rapid reactions.
So, for Jack, for Zach, for Steven behind the camera, we appreciate you guys, and we'll see you hopefully with celebrating a